Yeah. All right, so we're going to get started and people will straggle in, but that's okay. So before we start this, I kind of want to preface this, that this is going to be an information dump. There are so many resources out there that there's no way we can cover it without just throwing a lot of information at you. So that's why we created those handouts. And again, we will be sharing those slides, and this presentation is recorded. So we'll send all of that out after, so that way you can look back to it and all of that kind of stuff. And everything that we talk about, I link in the slides. So you can look at the slides after and click on the links and access everything. So for the people who weren't here, I am Samantha Cook. I am the instructional design librarian, and this is Kristina Clement. She is our student success librarian.
All right, so real quick, before we...
Sorry.
Okay, so who was here last session with us? Okay, good, you get to vote again. So we just want to take a little poll and raise your hand if you have looked at OER materials before. Yeah, we have two. Okay, so how many of you are familiar with Open Education resources? Who thinks they're really, really, really familiar? No, that's okay. It's relatively new. And how many of you either currently or have used Open Education resources in your classes? Yes, champions. Okay, so we did want to begin by sharing a quote with you from David Wiley of Lumen Learning, which is one of the resources we have on your list. And he says that education is sharing, and it really is, especially when it comes to OER. It's basically the overarching theme.
Secondly, we wanted to share a quote from one of our instructors here on campus who has gotten one of our OER grants, and she started to use those materials in her class this fall. She said, transitioning to open access course materials has revolutionized my classroom in the most positive ways possible, bringing student participation to a new level of excellence. She already has noticed that students are participating in discussions more, they're showing up to class more, they're getting better grades just by having these materials in the classroom. So that's incredible. And that's Dr. Susan Dewey in the Department of Gender and Women's Studies.
Did anyone go to the grant recipients panel? She was on that.
That was recorded too, so you guys can watch that later if you want. Okay, so the goal of this presentation is to share with you helpful resources to be able to use pre-adapted and created OER materials in the classroom. These sites may be hosted by a company or a university and are a repository of textbooks, syllabuses, videos, assignments, or even the entire class. And these materials are under an open Creative Commons license that allow them to be adapted and used by anybody. We will also demo one of these sites, one of the more popular ones, and we're also going to show some federated searches that have been created by these organizations that search all of the different ones. Because as we kind of have touched on, and I'm sure you heard it in the keynote, is there are so many sites, and that's why we always try to partner and continue to building upon these sites, because it's sometimes hard to search everything. Going to like 800 places, nobody has the time for that. And so there are some things that have been created that search all of the websites for you. And so I'll show you one of those as well.
All right, so the first resource that we really like is OpenStax. So OpenStax is a nonprofit educational initiative out of Rice University that has partnered with many different institutions and schools, such as Auburn, BC campus, which is British Columbia, University of Arizona, University of Idaho, and quite a few more. So they publish high-quality, peer-reviewed, openly licensed college textbooks that are absolutely free online and very low cost to print. So something that you'll probably notice as a common trend in OER is things tend to be heavy in the math, sciences, social sciences, but what's nice about OpenStax is they're starting to build a collection of humanities and also AP high school courses as well. So what I really like about OpenStax is they provide special access to faculty. You can create yourself an OpenStax account, and they will go verify that you are indeed faculty, and once that verification goes through, you get access to all this stuff that the students don't get to see. So what's really nice also is faculty can send in suggestions for things that they want added, changed, adapted, stuff like that. So what's really nice about OpenStax is their books are very easy to use. Students access the book through a link that you can put in your syllabus. They get a PDF. They can download it to Kindle if they want. Or what's also really cool is they can purchase a print copy through Amazon for about $40. This gives students the opportunity to kind of customize how they want their textbook to look and how they want to use it based upon what works best for them and what kind of accessibility they need. It's really nice that they do this because it kind of gives you different options. And that's great, especially in a rural state like Wyoming, where internet is not always going to be where you are. So, you know, like Sammy lives up in Bedowu and doesn't get internet all the time. So printing a book might be the best option for her. I live in town and my internet's pretty good, so I'm probably just going to read it online. But you have that option. And it's really nice because, you know, that engineering textbook that could cost hundreds of dollars, you can print for 40 bucks. That's a pretty good deal. Or you can just read it online for free. And one cool thing that OpenStax is doing right now is this thing called OpenStax Tutor that we've linked to. It's a new software that's in beta test right now. And so it does have mostly things like science courses, like physics, biology, sociology, but it's advertised as being low cost, easy to use tool that's going to help students do better in their coursework. So it uses the OpenStax textbooks that are in their library. They deliver high quality content, simulations, videos, practice, and immediate feedback. So it can be a good option for tutoring for students as well. It can, especially if you have distance students. This could be a really good option. Like, we have a really awesome tutoring center here in the library, but if you're not an on-campus student, that's not always an option for you. So we're hoping to see this a little bit more once it goes out of beta. So the next one that we want to highlight for you guys is BC Open Ed. So British Columbia Open Education is also nonprofit. Most of these tend to be nonprofit. But BC Campus supports the post-secondary institutions of British Columbia as they adapt and evolve their teaching and learning practices to enable these powerful learning opportunities for the students of their campuses. This particular initiative is funded by the British Columbia Ministry of Advanced Education, Skills and Training and the Hewlett Foundation. So they primarily focus on math, science, social sciences, but they also have some humanities and AP high school courses, which is pretty cool. They design open textbooks, they help with adaptation, and they have a lot of really helpful tools for people wanting to do this themselves. And it should be noted that British Columbia is the most progressive OER initiative out there right now. They are leaps and bounds ahead of just about anybody at the moment. And so they're a great place to look to, like if you're wanting to start a program of your own, or if you need resources or tools. And they have been inspiring other programs around our country and internationally as well. What's really cool is they have an OER grant program that funds the creation, adaptation, and redesign of open textbooks and resources. And the best part is it's open to everybody. For example, our program here at UW is only for UW faculty, but BC Open Ed, you can apply for their grants if you want, and they will help you through this process. So if you don't have a program at your institution, this is an option for you. Last year was due in April, so I suspect this upcoming spring they'll have another round. So if that's interesting, look out for that. So, yeah, they have a ton of different toolkits that cover things like accessibility, student research, faculty research, trade instruction. They even have some in different languages. There's one in French, which I guess makes sense for Canada. And these are great resources that you can use if you want to try and adapt or create something yourself. Their open textbook directory is a great way that you can search for OER textbooks. So this is one of the big searches that you can use, and everything that you find in this search is going to be open. It's something that you can use immediately. Their collection in particular has 268 materials currently, and it can be kind of diverse. They've got things like adult literacy, intro to business, basic kitchen and food service management. So they're reaching a lot of trades that a lot of these other ones are not. So they're a very diverse resource.
So the one that we're going to demo today is OER Commons. And the reason we chose this one is because, one, this is run by Creative Commons, who kind of creates all the licenses for this, but they also offer so much. And so it's a great tool. And then they also are one of those kind of federated searches that I talked about. They use everybody else's materials and put that on their site as well. So it's one of the best resources that you can start with, because you're going to be searching more than just one repository. You're going to be searching many. So they add a lot, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. So first, OER Commons is run, oh, I already said that. So beyond a great way to search multiple OER, they also focus a lot on K through 12 as well, which some of these don't. They'll focus on AP courses, so high school, but Creative Commons also includes materials for elementary education, middle school, all of that kind of stuff. So they're really unique in that way, which is really cool. They also offer 3 builders, which is very unique out of all of these resources. These builders are designed to help you create OER content. So they're the only site that has these tools to help you do it. So the first builder is the resource builder, and it's designed to help you create OER resources. They make it easy to combine text, pictures, sound files, video, and save them as openly licensed materials. So if you want to create a video to include in your class, you can use this builder, and it's free. So you don't have to pay for an expensive software. You don't have to go in between things. It does it all for you. And then it's something that you can download and put into your class. And so it's great. You can also download it into Google Docs or just download, a video file of it. The second builder that they have is a lesson builder, and it's for K through 12 students. And it allows authors to create both a student and teacher kind of facilitating discussion and view and syllabus and all of that kind of stuff. And it has a step-by-step approach to learning. Lastly, the module builder is kind of the same thing as the lesson builder, but it's designed for higher education. And so it's kind of built for that. And this can be level-specific descriptive information. You can remix and customize content, and has many different editing tools. And it's just really cool that you can do all of this and don't have to have software for it. So that's kind of what they really wanted to push. And it's something that I hear about a lot when I talk about, you can create videos, and that can be an adaptation. But people are like, well, I don't know how. I don't have that software on my computer. Well, here's a free software that you can use. So that's really cool about something that they do. And then lastly, they do curated collections. So this is different than all of the other institutions too. They have staff members who go to all of the repositories and create collections specific to like arts and humanities textbook, and includes full courses. So full courses are the syllabus, the readings, the lectures, all of that kind of stuff. And so you can use what other people are doing to build and better your course. Game-based learning, which is really cool. They have language textbooks and foundational STEM courses and textbooks. We cannot stress enough, STEM textbooks are often the most expensive. And so there's a lot of focus on that, and having these basic courses that every university teaches and having free textbooks for that can really help students. So it's important we do this. So now I'll show you their website. So the nice thing is, this is their homepage. It's very obvious how to search, which makes it really nice. And the search that I'm going to do is something that I actually had somebody approach me about. Here we have American Sign Language as one of our sign language credits that students can do, and the textbook is extremely expensive. So I had 2 faculty members who just came to the university approach me about it, and they're like, well, I obviously can't do the grant right now. They want to, but they want to start including these materials because they don't like their textbook. They feel it doesn't fit, but there's not another option for them. And so they use supplemental materials that we were able to find through Creative Commons to kind of better their class. So we'll search American Sign Language, and I'm not going to do anything. Just do a standard basic search everything that they have. So the nice thing that's cool is, so for example, this first one, there's a lesson plan. And then you have an activity and lab. So something to help your students at home. And then here's an entire course. So it's got assessment, full course, reading, syllabus, everything. And something that they told me is there isn't a third level textbook or class that they were able to use. So they were able to look at this, and there's not even a paid one for this, but there's a free one. So it's kind of amazing. And something I want to point out is, look, it's provided by Open Course Library. So it's something that's provided by another institution, but that they have on their website and you can access via their website and still access all of those great tools of being able to download it in different ways and all of that kind of stuff. So it's a really cool resource, and there's so much information on here. So I would highly suggest starting here. And then if you're still not finding, then start going into the more specific ones and seeing what you can find. But this is a great starting point. It's a great resource in general.
And what's great about like some of these that offer the full courses is you don't have to do the full course. You can take what you want or take what you need. Say you only need 2 lessons. If you're struggling to create your own stuff, check it out. Maybe there's something that you can pull from one of these other courses. And again, that's the beauty of OER. You can take what you need. All right. So again, just because this is mostly just a huge information dump, this is a list of other OER collections that we think are notable. We're not going to go through all of them. Some of them are a little more specialized, but we did want to point out 2 of them that we thought were pretty cool, and those are the bottom 2. So the Center for Open Educational Resources and Language Learning and Saylor Foundational Courses. The Center for Open Educational Resources and Language Learning is from the University of Texas at Austin, and it's one of 16 national foreign language resource centers funded by the Department of Education. And so they have a lot of resources that a lot of these other OER websites or collections don't have. And then the Saylor Foundational Courses is kind of amazing because they provide free open online classes to anyone, anywhere. So it can be great supplemental material.
Okay, so I talked about the OER federated searches, and the main one that actually just came out like 2 weeks ago is called the Mason OER Meta Finder, and I love their acronym, MOM.
Go ask Mom.
Go ask Mom. So this is managed by George Mason University, and it does simultaneous real-time search for OER content. And these types of searches can be extremely helpful because, as I've mentioned, there's so many places out there, it's hard to search everything. This is similar to what I talked about with OER Commons, but they are more specific about it. And then they have more specific institutions like Project Gutenberg, the World Digital Library. So they also search some of like archives and digital content like that you can bring in too that is open as well. So that's what's kind of unique about this one. And the materials are constantly being updated. Both Kristina and I would highly suggest, if you are interested in OER and if you want to continue learning more about it, there's a listserv called LibOER, and we provided the link on these forums as well. And like this week alone, 2 new search engines came out this week alone, and that are announced on there. So it's a great listserv to kind of be up on all of this. OER is such a hot topic right now. Everybody's getting involved in it. Everybody's kind of getting on the ground floor, and so there's so much stuff that comes out. So while this stuff is great, next week there's going to be something new. So you want to keep on that kind of stuff, and the LibOER listserv is great for that. And it doesn't spam you a lot. Usually I get like 2 or 3 emails a day from them. And it's no like crazy listserv fight emails either. We all know about those.
Yeah, the LibOER listserv comes from Spark. It's part of their discussion forum stuff. And yeah, it's an excellent resource. And the one thing that I've really noticed with that listserv is people are asking a lot of questions because, again, this is a new movement. So, you know, no one should feel any sort of shame or guilt for not knowing enough because we're all still learning. And that's a really nice sort of reassurance that the listserv has given me that, you know, I don't have to have all the answers right now, but I have a lot of colleagues that I can ask advice of.
Something else that's really cool about it is I have seen professors send out being like, hey, I really want to include an open textbook in my class. Here's my topic. And I send it out to the listserv, and suddenly they get 20 emails from different people being like, here's a textbook, here's this. And they get all of this information. So it's a great resource to harvest on this great community. And that's the cool thing about OER is it's not like that shared secret. Everybody wants to help. Everybody wants to share their materials. And so you can really kind of build upon that information, and that's what's cool about it.
All right, so a lot of what we just showed you are OER collections or meta finders, but there's a lot of resources out there too, guides and companies who have developed their own resources to help you develop resources. So we're going to go through just a couple of those. One notable one, and this is especially great because we do have a lot of community college folk here, is the Community College Consortium for Open Educational Resources. Is anyone familiar with this?
It's based out of California.
Okay, well now you are. And it's an amazing resource, not just for community colleges, but for everybody.
So something just as a preface for this, so California has done something amazing. They saw a need for this, and their governor was like, wow, this is really cool. I'm going to give $5 million towards this. And so they used their money, $5 million, that's a lot, which is the same. So recently, the United States government has issued grants, also $5 million, but that's to everybody. So California is equaling that just for their own state. Really cool. And so they used it to develop this and to encourage small grants for their community colleges.
Yeah, so this group promotes the awareness and adoption of open educational resources, policies, practices, and everything. Right now, the community includes 27 states and 2 Canadian provinces, and they really are a huge advocate. But what's great is the resources that they have. So they have webinars, they have pathways, they have case studies, all these things. And actually, we just found, I think, was it on the list or did you find it on the website?
Website.
Yeah, we found a list that they're compiling of open education conferences, which is
for the next like 5
great.
years. Like it's crazy.
They've got it all mapped out. So all the details are there. We're definitely bookmarking that one. There's one in Denver. Next year.
In April.
Nice and close. So this is an excellent place to sort of, find ways for yourself to develop resources. But what's also really cool is they also sponsor OER degrees. So Tanya talked a little bit about a Z degree, which is a zero-cost textbook degree from top to bottom, no textbook cost. And so they have resources that can help you design these Z degrees. These degrees have been gaining popularity, as Tanya mentioned, and particularly in community colleges because it can really save students a lot of money, sometimes up to 25% on the cost of attendance, which is great. So right now they have 3 colleges that they're working with for OER degrees, and that's Tidewater Community College, Northern Virginia Community College, and Pierce College Open Pathways. So there's a lot of case studies if you want to read them. And see what they're doing.
And the webinars that they have are really cool. What they do each semester is come out with like 30 webinars that are free for everybody to watch. And their topics are like collaborative platforms for open content development, transforming learning with open educational practices and pedagogy, the impact of OER adoption on cost, outcomes, and stakeholder perceptions. So when you're trying to learn about how you can use this, and all of that kind of stuff. That's what the webinars are, and they're really great for that. So that's why I linked to that. So the next resource is Open Oregon, which is a really great institution, and it's by the state of Oregon, and it's a lot of their community colleges and their four-year universities. So it backs all of their colleges in the state and provides them support with the promotions of textbook affordability for community college and university students and facilitates widespread adoption of open, low-cost, high-quality textbooks for students. They do this by showcasing OER successful track savings. They're really the advocates of the state. So they're going around advocating to the governors, to the legislatures, to give money to this, why it's important, and all of that, which is really important. They also offer a Z degree as well, which is the idea of zero textbook, as we've talked about, and they're kind of building that up in their community colleges, which is really cool. They have a list of resources that's kind of similar to the worksheet that we gave you guys of helpful places to go, how to learn things. They've created like lessons and all of that kind of stuff, and it's really cool. And then they also have developed stuff for unique circumstances and that kind of stuff. So how to make sure you're using this and it's available for people with disabilities, stuff like that, which is a very important conversation as we're developing these materials. They have an amazing FAQ, which Harry here knows how important FAQ is. He creates our library stuff. That just launched, and I learned about it on the library listserv. That has some amazing information for anyone wanting. So any question that you may have, they pretty much have an answer to. It's amazing. I was really impressed with it. And then something else that they do is they offer $200 for peer review of open textbooks. So if you're interested in reviewing these materials, you can reach out to them and be like, hey, I'm interested, and they'll pay you $200 to review a textbook. So they're one of these organizations that's helping that idea of making sure these materials are correct and open and all of that kind of stuff. So that's something cool that they do. But yeah. So something that I compiled, and again, as we're just doing an information dump, a lot of it's on those worksheets. Libraries are at the front of this movement. And there's so many amazing library guides. Like we have one here, and I'll pull up ours. Do you want to pull it up while I'm talking? So what these do is they just walk through their programs, what materials they offer, what people are doing at their university, all of that kind of stuff. And so we have one for our grant program that has videos about what is OER, talks you through what you can do for us, all of that kind of stuff. So here you can see we have kind of our homepage, and Kristina will scroll down. We have what is OER. We have videos that walk you through that. It's a 6-video thing. We walk you through why is OER important. And there's so many of these types of resources out there, and libraries are at the front. We're the ones that are doing the hard work to try to get this done. And we have our information about our grant page, and this is where you come if you are a faculty member here to apply for our grants. And then we also have a Find OER tab. How to find these materials. We talk about copyright, OpenStax, Open Textbook Library. So that's what these sites are, and that's why they're really helpful, is librarians are doing the research for you and creating this great guide to help you through the process. So take advantage of it. Something that you can do is just search OER, and I can promise you the results you're going to find are mostly library guides. Kind of funny. So lastly, what we wanted to talk about is this really cool journal that is coming out October 15th. We gave brochures for it. It is the first, we think, we've done research. We think it's the first actually dedicated journal for open educational resources.
If you know of another one, let us know.
Yes, please.
Haven't found another one that's just open education resources.
A lot of journals publish on the topic, but this is dedicated entirely to open education, which is really cool. And something cool that they do is the articles that they publish, they're one, open, so everybody can access them, which is great, but also they're making them interactive. So they're going to include like more pictures, videos.
You can hover over text and read definitions of things or little blurbs that are supplemental, so you don't have to click out to a new window. And it's a 100% online journal. And also, Sammy and I are the blog editors for this journal. So, you know, as you guys delve into OER, if you're doing cool things, let us know. We'd love a blog.
Just talk about how you're adapting a textbook in your class and how it's working and what you're noticing, all of that kind of stuff. That's what we want to highlight.
There are also forums and, you know, 3 questions for OER leaders. The pamphlet we gave you talks about a lot of it. And again, I apologize for the formatting. I printed it wrong. So I didn't want to reprint it. But yeah, it launches October 15th. If you try to go to their website right now, it's down. It was up a few weeks ago, but they took it down so that they can finish building it. October 15th, it'll go live, and the call for proposals for their spring and summer issue will be out very soon. So again, if you've got stuff to contribute, this is a great place to start doing that.
Well, and kind of the reason we're bringing it to you guys is this is a dedicated place, and it's not going to just be like librarians talking about it. The board is like IBM people from the United States Education Board. So it's not just necessarily librarians, but it's going to be librarians.
And it's not just academia either. It's going to be really diverse.
We're working to make it.
I think it's really promising.
Yeah. We want it to be more approachable than the typical academia journal, because open education is such an important topic. We want it to reach everybody. We think it's important for everybody to be able to understand So it's going to be a great resource. So October 15th, the website will launch, and it's great. I highly suggest everybody look to it. So that's it. Something that we did, so we created those worksheets, but at this point we kind of wanted to see if there were any of the resources that we didn't really go through that you wanted to learn more about, if there's something specific you want us to look for. That's kind of what we saved this in time for. Or questions, if you have questions about any of this. Yeah.
Oh, one of the books? Open
Yeah,
one?
of course.
Yeah, we can go into OpenStax and check out one of the books. Has anyone ever used OpenStax? Okay, a couple people. That's great.
What is a book that somebody would like?
Let's look at subject. Pre-calc? All right, let's look at the pre-calc.
So here you have kind of the side thing. So you see there's a table of contents. You can go to like individual chapters. You can view it online, download as a PDF, order a print copy, download onto iBook. So put it on your iPhone, download on Kindle. It's really amazing. So we'll just view online. Something here, you can search the book. So if you're looking for specific topics, that kind of stuff, students can search it.
You can drop down the contents there. So, you know, if you want to jump to something, it's very easy.
You're supposed to read chapter 8 or 6. You can just click on it and it'll jump to it for you. But kind of this is what we were talking about. You have to have good internet for this type of thing, but that's why you can download it as a PDF. So it's on your phone. So even with my horrible internet at home, I could still access it on my iPad. Or I can order a print copy. So they're really working to make it so these are available in so many different ways. And that's kind of the cool thing about this movement is it's not just in this format because not everybody learns that way. Some people need the print copy. Some people want to be able to highlight it and make notes.
And what's great is you can download chapters. So say in your pre-calc class, you only want them to use chapters 1, 6, 9, and 10. Like those are the only ones that are relevant for what you're teaching this semester. You can link specifically to those chapters. They don't have to download the whole thing and have all this, you know, text that they have to, you know, go through. So it's very customizable. Pardon? Yep.
Yeah, they're full color and bound and everything. So it's not like you're just getting a pile of paper. Like
it looks like a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a book and it's around $40. It's incredibly cheap. Pretty sure you have to go through. I don't think the bookstore can put them on the shelf.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we mentioned in our previous session, it's really important to work with your bookstore to get them, you know, to provide these kinds of materials. Very important. I want to go back real quick on OpenStax.
One last comment about this text. I don't know if it's required to OpenStax, but it also has online.
Yeah, that's the tutor. That's what the tutor is. And so like right now the tutor only focuses on like math and science, but we're sure as the beta is no longer a beta version that they'll include the humanities. And pretty much every book that they have, they're going to start creating a tutor that matches it. So homework assignments, all of that kind of stuff, it's all integrated in there. And it gives them immediate feedback on that homework, which is cool.
Yeah, if you look at student resources, you can download like a guide to use it. There are instructor resources. A lot of this is the stuff that you need to register yourself and get verified as a faculty member before you're going to be allowed to see a lot of it. And they do that so the students can't go see the answer guide and stuff like that.
Exactly what they do.
But there are PowerPoint slides. Who hates making PowerPoints? Yeah, I kind of like it actually.
Yeah, she loves it. Listen to her.
But you can, I mean, there's just so much stuff. And they're updating things all the time. Errata, you know, if things need to be corrected. And that's the beauty of things being online. They're a lot easier to correct than something in print.
Yeah, and so here you see, so we use Canvas. It partners with Canvas. So you can upload modules directly into Canvas from this. Like, it's very easy to use. And they're really trying to make it so it's as easy on instructors as possible, because that's kind of important. It's helpful for the students, but it shouldn't be a hassle for instructors either. Yeah. I'm not sure. I can, and I'll let you know. I'm not sure if there's stuff in Canvas Commons. For people who don't know, Canvas Commons is a place that you can import modules. For example, we have our information literacy modules through Canvas Commons. So instructors can import our information literacy modules that are like basic quizzes about like how to cite materials, what's plagiarism, stuff like that. That's directly imported in. And so I'm not sure what is on Canvas Commons about open. Something to look into. What's your question?
You mentioned the bookstore. How do they feel about this? Or is there some incentive for them to want to work with you on this?
Yeah, so we talked about this in our last one. It's kind of, it depends on the university. I feel like, I mean, I'm sure Kristina will agree with me. It's just, you have to develop those deep relationships with the bookstore to make them know that you're not trying to like screw them over, that you're doing it for the students. And the nice thing about the university setting is our whole goal is helping students. And that's what you're trying to do in the end. And often the bookstores aren't making money necessarily on books. Like for ours here at UW, they're making most of their money on shirts and hats.
And gear and the Clement counter that's in there. The big profit centers and bookstores don't tend to be textbooks. It tends to be other things. But yeah, like Sammy said, building those relationships and being sure to be kind and considerate is the best way to go about it.
But also, instead of,
they might,
the
can
idea
be.
is maybe the bookstores can print those books so that financial aid can help and allow the students to buy them, or they buy the books from Amazon and sell them for the students. It's building that partnership so they're working with you for it.
Yeah, the goal is to get the bookstore to make these accommodations for these open resources. And it's not going to happen if you just march in and say, do it. That's why, you know, looping them in and being kind, considerate, and political about it is very important. And it can take time.
We had multiple bookstore members here at the conference. So we invited them. We wanted them to be a part of the conversations that we're having because that's important. It's important to develop those relationships because students can't use. No.
Yeah. And in fact, they can't. I don't think they're allowed to do that.
Their financial aid for it, which is what's important.
So just to clarify, the bookstore can honor copies of from Amazon and sell it.
Yep.
At the Amazon price.
At the Amazon price.
Or the open Amazon price, yeah.
Exactly.
And yeah, it just takes building relationships. That's one of the best ways to grow support for OER is to build the relationships. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that is the one thing. I don't think you can sell back those copies.
Yeah, because the idea of open is that you're not making money on the materials. And so that kind of defeats the whole purpose.
Students aren't paying for the materials unless they want it printed.
You're paying for the print costs at that point, not the materials. Because if you're, especially like the whole idea of the licenses is especially if you're using somebody else's stuff, like taking a chapter from somebody else's book and putting it into your book, that's how you get in trouble because they put it on an open license where nobody can make money off of what they're doing. So you can't, I think that's probably why they won't buy it back because it kind of defeats that purpose. Yeah.
Wanting to keep it, yeah.
Yeah, you give them that opportunity, and so.
Exactly.
And it's cheaper. Like, if you think about it for an engineering textbook, I remember I had roommates who were engineers, and they would pay like $2,000 a semester on textbooks, and it always blew my mind as a humanities person, but $40, that's nothing in comparison. And so that's kind of the difference here.
Other questions? Anything you guys want to talk about or look at?
We can keep looking at stuff if there's somebody wants to see.
A couple minutes left. Otherwise, oh, yes, we
These
have them
are
up
up,
here.
they're up here.
Did anyone not get a list or a journal thing?
I'll bring 3.
Is all of this stuff linked in your Open Ed guide?
And we're going to be adding like all of our slides, the recordings, all of the handouts will be on that LibGuide.
Yeah, everything from the symposium will go on our LibGuide. So, yeah. Anything
Get some? I'll bring you some.
And just so you know, this is not an exhaustive list that we're providing. There's a lot more out there. We kind of wanted to keep it to 1 page, even though it's pretty small print. You could fill a book with all the different things out there. So this is not exhaustive. It's just things that we like and that we think are useful and a little more complete.
There's a lot of smaller ones out there that, like, for example, when we put our stuff up, it won't include a lot of information. It'll include 9 textbooks right now or 9 materials, but these continue to grow and they're constantly being updated. And for example, ours partners with OpenStax, and so our materials will go into OpenStax too. So it's kind of that relationship of bringing all of these materials together.
All right, well, thanks, guys. I hope you learned at least one thing.
Sorry if it was an information overload.
It's a super information dump.
And we're here if you guys have questions, reach out to us. We're happy to help. We can set up a phone meeting if you're in Laramie, all of that kind of stuff. We're very much here to help. If you can't find a resource that you're looking for, let us know. We'll help you look, all of that kind of stuff. So,
great, thank you very much.
For anybody staying for the professors and practitioners, that's in this room. So that will be here.